All right, 2C.7 triangle midsegments. So we already talked about a trapezoid midsegment in one of the other lessons that we've done, but triangle midsegments. So if we have a triangle, the midsegment is this orange line here, right? This orange line right in the middle. Some things to know about the midsegment. The midsegment is parallel to one of the sides. Okay. Actually, there's three different midsegments in here, right? Because if we just turn the triangle on its side, we'd be able to draw that same figure in. We're only going to focus on one of them at a time, right? So the orange line is our midsegment. We see that the sides of the other sides of the triangle, the ones that they're not parallel to, are congruent. It breaks them up, it bisects them, it cuts them in half, right? That does that on the left and on the right. And I think I've already said it, but they're going to be parallel here. The midsegment is parallel to one of the sides, and the midsegment is half the length of the side that it's parallel to, right? So y is half of x, right? If x is that whole side, then y is 1/2 of it, right? So big things that we need to know, that midsegment is parallel and half the length of parallel side. All right, it's parallel to one of the sides, and the side that it is parallel to, it's half the length of that side. Another way that we could write this, maybe a little bit easier way, so we said that y is 1/2 x, right? Y is half of x. We could rewrite this and say, well, 2 times the midsegment is x. So we could say 2 times the midsegment is the side. And I think that's going to be the easiest way for us to think about it, right? 2 times the midsegment is our side. All right, let's look at these. Number 2 here, the triangle is kind of laying on its side in comparison to what we were looking at. This here is our midsegment. This here is our side. It gives us the lengths of the midsegment and the side in terms of x, and we're going to have to solve and find that. We know that 2 times our midsegment is our side. So this is 2 times the green piece is the blue piece. So I'll say, well, 2, and don't forget your parentheses, 2x minus 12 is 2x minus 4. Now I think the easiest thing to do here would be to distribute the 2 on the left, right? And before I go on, the new part of this is already done. We've done the new part of it. We've done the geometry piece of it. Now we're just doing algebra. The rest of the problem is just solving. So distributing that 2, I'm going to have, well, 4x minus 24 is 2x minus 4. I'll subtract my 2x to the left. That'll give me 2x minus 24 is negative 4. Adding my 24, that gives me 2x is 20, and x is 10, because I divided by 2. There we are. So these problems might be a little bit longer, but in my opinion, they don't have a whole lot of difficulty to them, right? They're relatively easy, relatively straightforward. So that's how all of the problems on this page is going to go, right? All the problems. So number 3, let's look at it. The green piece is our midsegment, and the blue piece is our side. So I'm going to say 2 times the green, so 2, and then x plus 22 is equal to 33 plus x. So 2x plus 44 is 33 plus x. I'll subtract my x to the left, and I'm going to get, well, x plus 44 is 33. I'll subtract 44 to the right. I'm going to get, well, x is going to be, what is that, negative 11? Yep. And there we are. Now, a way that we could check ourselves, if we wanted to, we could plug back into the actual triangle. So I'm going to do that just so that we can see what the real side lengths are. I'm going to plug into the side first, so I'm going to have 33 plus, and then negative 11. So this side right here is 22. Now I can say, for my other one, it's x plus 22, so that'll be negative 11 plus 22. That gives me 11 there. Right? So the length of my midsegment is 11. The length of my side is 22. It's not written in there, but they're parallel, right? We know that they're parallel. And we know that the big side is double the small side, or the side is double the midsegment, right? So you can check your work that way. Number 4. The green is going to be my midsegment. So I'll say, well, 2 times negative 9 plus 2x equals 2x minus 2. Now we could distribute out that 2, and that would be a good way to start. We could do that and you'd get the right answer. Another way that I'm seeing here is that we have this 2 and this 2 here. If I were to divide everything by 2, I could cancel those 2's out. I'm going to do that just so that it keeps smaller numbers. So I'll have negative 9 plus 2x on the left. And then because every term in that fraction on the right has a 2 in it, I can cancel all of the 2's out. Right? So this becomes an x minus 1. Right? 2 over 2 is 1. If that piece there is kind of confusing, you could say, well, 2x minus 2 over 2. Well, if we look at that top piece, we could take out a 2. This would be the same thing as 2, then x minus 1. Right? Think about what happens if we distribute that 2 in there. And then from that step, we can cancel our 2's out, and then we have x minus 1. Right? If you don't like that, if that's confusing, then just go ahead and distribute the 2 like it's written in the problem. All right, moving on. I'm going to move my x to the left and my 9 to the right. So I'm going to have an x on the left. And then if I add negative 1 plus 9 is going to be 8. Number 5. I'm going to have 2 times my midsegment, which is 2x minus 13. That's equal to x minus 2. Distributing my 2 gives me 4x minus 26. Is x minus 2. I'll subtract my x and I'll have, well, 3x equals, I'm going to add my 26 over, and that's going to give me, what will that give me? 24, positive 24. And then whenever I divide by 3, I'm going to say, well, 24 divided by 3, that gives me 8. So x equals 8. Number 6. My midsegment is this top piece here. I guess it's not top, it's in the middle, but oh well. So I'm going to say, well, 2 times 2x minus 2 equals 10 plus 2x. Now, like what I did in one of the last ones, what was that? Number 4, I'm going to divide by 2 here. I'm going to divide everything by 2. And the reason I can do that is because the side, the actual side, I have a 10 and a 2. I can divide 10 by 2, right? That gives me well, 5. And then 2 over 2 gives me 1. So I can do this, and I'm going to have on the left 2x minus 2 equals 5 plus x. Again, if you don't want to do it that way, it still works. I just like working with smaller numbers. I'll subtract my x to the left, so I'll have x minus 2 is 5. Add my 2, and x is 7. Number 7. I'm going to have 2 times my midsegment, which is x, equals x plus 8. So 2x is x plus 8. So subtracting my x, I get x equals 8. Number 8 now. Lots of 8's. I'll have 2 parenthesis 2x minus 19 is negative 14 plus 2x. Now, just like I've done in some of the last ones, I'm going to divide by a 2 here. That's because my 14 can divide by 2 to give me a 7, and 2 over 2 gives me 1. So on the left here, I'll have 2x minus 19 gives me a negative 7 plus x. Now, subtracting my x to the left, that gives me a single x over here. Adding my 19 over will give me, well, let's see, I have negative 7 plus 19. That gives me 12. There we are. Number 9, I'm going to have 2 times my midsegment, which is x plus 23, equals the side, which is x plus 34. So this is going to be 2x plus 46 is x plus 34. Subtracting my x over gives me a plain old x on the left. And then whenever I subtract, I'm going to have 34 minus 46, and that gives me negative 12. And there we are. That's how we do these. Make sure we remember that 2 times the midsegment is the side. That's the biggest, most important piece of this. That's what you're going to need to do your homework. 2 times the midsegment is the side. All right.